Hello my friends and welcome to this playthrough for the Rookie Division in the Football Fever Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and let's go! We're going to start with hole number 1, a par 4. I would say a really tricky par 4, and very important for us here is to put ourselves in a situation where we can reach the green in 2 easily. We're going to go with the quarterback. That is going to be our main driver. The reason for it is that we are not having the extra mile upgraded in a good level to get some curl, because I do value, and I think it's crucial to value curl on this particular hole. The reason for that is that you want to counter for the bounce that you're going to get. You're going to get a bounce that bounce from right down to the left, and then you need to curl it in the wind, and you need to curl it so it bounces so you get a straight bounce. You will see here with the side spin combined with the curl, we just get a straight bounce. We will not bounce into the rough, and we'll just end up easily there on the fairway, giving us an open shot for the green. So there will be many players in this tournament that will be going too far, or they will miss their drive going too much left or too much right, because it's not an easy drive. It's very important though to put yourself on the fairway, because if you do not put yourself on the fairway, you will not be able to reach for the green in 2. That's for sure. So our opponent here is going with a Quasar. And a Quasar is going to be a good ball as well. I would suggest to always go with max side spin here, and for of course the curl, go as much curl as possible. And as you can see, there is not that much curl on the extra mile, and with that great shot there, this shot will be absolutely perfect, because that great shot kind of saved our opponent a little bit there from not going too far away from the green. So, second shot here, we're going to go with the Guardian, and we are lucky enough to have an upgraded Guardian. I would say that even if you have it in level 1, you should be going with the Guardian. The reason for it, backspin. The backspin will help you tremendously to get this ball actually to be close to the pin. As you can see, you will not be able to go directly at the pin, because that shot is going to be too hard. But the thing that you can do is that you can bounce it on the back there off the green to make it fall back down for an eagle. Hopefully we're going to go with 2 rings with this adjustment, and we are going to want to fall back down. We hit it great though, which is not the thing that we want, but we get it up there, as you can see, and make the backspin help us fall back down. You can see we have a very good speed down towards the pin, and we bag an easy birdie, and at least we took a shot at the eagle. So crucial, curl combined with some topspin for your drive. You can go with a quarterback, doesn't matter. You can go with a big topper, doesn't matter, or an upgraded extra mile, but most likely it's going to be a big topper or a quarterback. Then second shot, if you're not having a Guardian, then choose a club that is most similar like the Guardian. And sure, if you do have the big dog as our opponent here, our opponent has a big dog in level 7, which in my opinion may be having a Guardian in level 1, level 2, level 3 or something like that, because the big dog is as hard to unlock as the Guardian. So then you of course need to change your approach. If you have a big dog, you need to kind of like be very spot on, and this could happen. That's why, again, Guardian with backspin will clear the bunkers for you, will not have any obstacles, as you can use the backspin. So we're going to forfeit this one, and we are going to go directly to hole number 2. And it's very important that if you do have any questions, I try to go in and answer every day in the comment section. So do not forget about that. Get in, check out the video, and of course ask as many questions that you might have. Second shot for us here, my friends. And this is a tricky par 3, and of course this is a hole where I do suggest that you kind of adjust your shot as you would be in max distance. I know we will basically be playing with minimum distance of our club, so I think you should adjust it in that way. The thing to have in mind with this type of shot is again that I value backspin. You will be able to see me now play with a Guardian level 1, and even if the ball guide is very, very bad, it's going to be absolutely perfect for us in the way to land it on green. We can use a Marlin ball, doesn't matter. We can use a plain ball as well, but I do like to use a little bit of side spin when it comes to having a little bit of crosswind. So you can see there on the ball guideline, we didn't even have the second bounce on the ball guideline on the Guardian level 1, but it doesn't really matter. We will fix that with just landing this one on green. And I would say, like, when it comes to all the par 3s in the tournament, don't look at them as hole-in-one holes. I don't do that in any level. It's just to, of course, we are going for it. We're going to go as close as possible. If it drops, it drops. But in the end, we need to give ourselves that room and to let us be able to make a birdie and actually be happy with it, so we're not just focusing on, oh, we need to drop, we need it to drop, because then it will not drop. So okay, then we come to hole number 3, my friends. I'm going to forfeit this one as well, and I do that when I do playthroughs. The reason I do so is to kind of like oh, I didn't, but almost done. But normally I do so to just focus on the regular win, because the shootouts are not affected in the tournament score. So you can win all the shootouts, you can lose the shootouts, it doesn't really matter. You will still have the same score in the tournament. Hole number 3. And hole number 3, we are going to have some tailwind, and I think the tailwind here will of course help us to reach over on the second side, the right side. We're going to go with a Marlin ball here. It's going to be enough. I would say, like, if you want to go with a rough bump by the green, then you can go with a Titan, because then the second shot will rely on you to have some distance. We're going to stretch out our club, and we're going to adjust this one for 2 rings. And we're going to use max topspin that we do have on our extra mile level 5. And this play I would absolutely see possible with a quarterback, but then you need to use a Titan or a Kingmaker to give yourself that distance that you do need for your drive. So Natalie here is going to play on the left side, and the problem with on the left side is that you're putting so many things in play. I do believe, like, going right side with a decent amount of topspin is going to help out. Now this one is going to be very dangerous because it's going to be close to the trees. So we're going to see she hits it great on the left side. This is going to actually be good, and the reason it becomes good is because the adjustment from the start was too close to the tree, so that great actually saved her in that way. So it's a good shot, and it will roll out, and it should be possible to manage to get that green, that one to green. Here you can see, sure, we can go for the rough bump here, my friends, but it's going to be tricky. We can't hit our ball great, and we're going to be in a big trouble. So we're going to go for the bounce. We're using the big dog because of the distance that we do want for our second shot. Because if we find ourselves in a situation where we actually go a little bit with a drive with a little bit less distance, for an example, especially when we are using a Marlin ball. Thing to have in mind as well, that this win that we're playing on this particular hole and all the other holes, it's the win that we're going to have in the tournament. So this is a playthrough with the correct tournament win, and as you can see, we're getting close to the albatross, and maybe someday we will be lucky enough to get that one in for an eagle. So our opponent here is going to also go for a try here, and for this particular play, I do believe the absolute best way is to go right side, especially with the big dog, going for that bounce over the water. And I would say, like, that is the only way to get this one in the hole if you're not getting the rough bump, but here in this particular position, in my opinion, it's only to get it green, secure the eagle. Don't try to do anything yeah, don't try to do anything that is not that smart, and go from there, you know. So our opponent here gets it into the rough, and we're going to forfeit this one as well, but we would be bagging an easy eagle on that particular hole. So, and now we go to hole number 4, my friends. And hole number 4, it's going to be another par 5. And this par 5 is a par 5 that I really like. And the reason I like it is because it's a possible albatross hole. But everything needs to be spot on. You need to make your drive over to the second fairway, and you need to make the rough bump in a perfect way. So our opponent here is going to try to go over. I would consider this one to be a little bit trickier, of course. With a basic ball, without any curl, without any side spin, this one will be in the rough, because you want to have some side spin. And the reason we are pulling off a Titan here is because we want to have the distance on our drive, so we don't have to overpower, so we actually can give ourselves that a little bit of room to get over to the second fairway. Sure, you can play with a maul, you can play with a basic ball, it's going to be tougher, but here it's all to show in how the easiest way for us to get a safe drive over to the second fairway without having to focus on anything more than hitting our ball perfect. There we go. You can see we're rolling over nicely, and we're going to land up here, and we're going to go for the rough bump. And the rough bump, I think it's a fun play, because it's definitely a good opportunity to make an albatross, but you need to be, as I always say, you need to be spot on with your adjustment, otherwise you will not drop that one, that's for sure. Our opponent just playing himself forward, and of course in the rough again it's going to be very tough there. And now of course we can secure an eagle for him if we make an albatross. 2.4 in wind, and we do have the backbone. The key here is to use 2 bars of topspin on your long iron. Doesn't matter if you're using a Saturn, a backbone, or a Goliath. 2 bars of topspin is the thing to go with. We are going to adjust this one for 1 ring only, and then we're going to give ourselves the opportunity to make it bounce in. And the scary part with this type of shot is that if we do miss our shot and go great, or some go good or something like that, then we will have a big problem, because it will fall back down and give ourselves a rough or a bunker shot. But we bounce it up, and we come in a little bit hot, but we managed to make an albatross. That is that is amazing, and that is something that we really do want to hope that we bag on the regular qualification as well. So now we're going to go to hole number 5, and this is a tutorial I actually wanted to show you a way that could be very dangerous. I would call this the 50-50 way, because it really applies that you hit your ball perfect and you're really spot on with your adjustment. My initial thought on this hole was that I'm going to play it in the rough just by the bunker. While seeing this type of wind, like straight headwind, it's going to be of course tougher to hit that small piece of rough, especially if we do hit our ball great. And as you can see, our opponent's in between clubs, and it's going to go just straight to the pin. And I'm going to try to go there over the bunker, and I'm going to play this one very poorly. And the importance here is to actually, when you're playing in the rookie division, don't go for the rough bump, in my opinion, especially with this type of wind. If you would be having other type of wind, a side wind for an example, or a slight side wind combined with tailwind or headwind, then another story. But straight headwind is going to be tough, and you don't want to end up into the rough like we will. I would consider instead to go with a ball, a quasar or a katana that do have some side spin and go in the rough on the left side of the bunker instead. We're going with 1 bar of topspin for this adjustment, and of course we can hit that rough if we are good enough with our adjustment, but we will slightly under adjust it and you will be able to see us make it stop. So of course hole number 5 here is not the best shot, but it's important to show a hole like that amongst some of the great ones as well, that where you actually maybe took the wrong route. I know I've been saying go for the rough bump, go for the rough bump, but on hole number 5 I've changed my mind. I believe not for this rough bump, go on the rough bump on the left of the bunker. And if you want to see that type of shot, you can see that in the earlier tutorials as well. Our opponent's going to put this one in for a birdie, and we're going to play a rough iron shot that is going to be something that many people will do in the tournament, as it's going to be a hole where it's going to be very tricky to stay away from the rough and from the bunker. The most safest way to play this hole is to use a club with a good amount of backspin like the Guardian, go directly onto the green and just make it stay there. Then you don't have to even think about something else. We chip it in, hit it perfect, but you don't hit perfect every time when you hit with your rough iron, that's for sure. So hole number 6 and par 4, the second par 4 in the game, and we have played 2 par 5s, 2 par 3s, and 1 par 4 at the moment. So this is the second par 4, and we're going to go with Marlin ball, max top spin combined with max side spin that we do have on our Marlin ball with our extra mile level 5. We are not going to overpower. We're just going to give ourselves the room to just shoot ourselves past there. As you will be able to see here, we're going to bounce and we're going to bounce, and we have no problem to getting it to the fairway. Maybe a little bit too close to the right side, but we did hit it great on the right side, so we shouldn't complain that much. Gatsby. Going to basically do the same type of shot, but with an extra mile level 3, then you may have to overpower it a little bit. You do not have the top spin that we do have on extra mile level 5, or maybe use a ball with a little bit more distance, depending on how you want to play it. Hit it great. It's going to be on the right side as well, but it's going to stay away from the rough and from the bunker at least, which is going to be... Oh, I take that back. I thought so, sorry. Not going to stay away from the rough and from the bunker. So our turn, we're going to go with 1.5 bar of topspin with our Viper, and here we would really like to have the big dog instead actually. So this is the wrong pick for us, but this is how to show how we would like to play. We're playing this one with only just a little bit more than 1 ring, and we're going to try to go for the rough bump here. We hit the rough, sorry, we hit it perfect, but we hit the rough, and we're getting it a little bit short because we're using a little bit too little of the topspin. So our opponent here is going to be in the rough, and of course with the rough cutter it's going to be very hard to reach for this green into. I would say nearly impossible in my opinion, and then it's time for us to go we are not going to putt it in, but otherwise we would be putting this one in for a birdie. And of course, if you're not feeling secure of the rough bump there, then you can go on the left side using club with a decent amount of curl, and then curl it up to the pin. We are taking the birdie anyway. I don't know why I say I do not and then I do the opposite. So our opponent here do have a wedge for the pin. It's going to be hard to chip this one in, of course, especially using there. It should be going directly onto the green to have a more easier or more a flat bounce for that one. So we're going to go now, and we're going to play hole number 7, the last par 3. And hole number 7 is, in my opinion, is going to be the toughest par 3 for us to play. So it's very important here that you do get the spin adjustment right, and we are going to go with a Titan here. The reason we go with a Titan is not that we need a Titan here, we definitely not, but we have just one more Quasar left, and we have no Marlins, and we have no Navigators, so that's therefore we use Titan. 1 bar of backspin combined with a little bit slight side spin to the right. Maybe we should take away the side spin. We are adjusting this one for the 3.8, and we're going to bounce over the rough and the bunker. Why do we do that and risk going by that fringe glitch? It's because we're going to come in with such a low speed that even if we get that little glitch, then we're going to stop nicely on the fairway just behind the green or on the green. We hit it perfect, get the bounce. You see going high there, and we coming in kind of hot, but in the end we went very close to making hole-in-one. So I believe, like, for the next time we should maybe take away that side spin that we used, because that was something that was unnecessary on that particular shot. So our opponent here is going to go on the side, and going on the side, and you need to have a ball, in my opinion, that do have some side spin, or at least a club with some curl. Otherwise it's going to be very, very tough. And again, it's always important to find a way to put yourself in a situation where you can get the easiest birdie, I would say, or at least give yourself an hole-in-one opportunity. Sure, this ball will be for a wedge, for a birdie. It should be manageable to get, but in the end, you know, you do want to at least give yourself a little bit easier shot from the tee. So we're going to go to hole number 8 now, and hole number 8 has been, I would say, it has been good to us, especially with this type of wind we're going to play with when it comes to in rookie, and also like in pro and in expert, in my opinion. So we are definitely going to go on the right side here. We're going to go with a little bit more aggressive line, and I would consider actually the aggressive line to be not that aggressive than that I thought, because we don't have to overpower a shot, but we need to hit our ball perfect. And especially now when we're going to use a Titan, because we want to give ourselves the distance for our drive and also the second shot, to not put ourselves in any obstacles, especially if we do hit ourselves into the rough or into the bunker. We do at least want to give ourselves the opportunity to reach close to the rough on top there. So going to go there. We're going to go with one, like basically one ring with our extra mile, and so we're going to adjust that one just slight a bit. We're going to hit the perfect. We have max side spin to the right and 1 bar backspin. The reason we're going with max side spin to the right is because the ball will be pushed to the left by the bounce on the fairway there. So to get it straight, we need to use max side spin to the right. Our opponent here, of course, going into the rough, it's all about to just get over to the other side, and then stay away from the rough, of course. We're going to go with the backbone. First, we are checking, is it possible to go for the rough bump here to be consistent enough and not risk going either over on the fairway, on the green directly, or going into the bunker? And I would say no, especially when we have to stretch it out a little bit. We're going to go for a little bit more safe one and going to bounce it over the rough on top to give ourselves an opportunity for the eagle, but it's not going to be the best opportunity, but an opportunity it is, and that we will take. So get it to green. We did hit it great though, and with hitting our ball great, then we will not be getting that one in the hole. But if we would be hitting that ball perfect, then it would have been another story. So our opponent here, of course, from the rough with the basic ball, with having to overpower, it's going to be very, very tough to get this one in the hole. And then I would consider the best thing to do is to try at least, and otherwise secure a safe par depending on what your opponent is doing. We're not going to put this one in, I believe, at least. No, we won't. And we're going to go to hole number 9. And hole number 9, it's also a tricky one, and we're going to go with a Titan, and we're going to go with a quarterback. Sorry, no, we're going to go with, just thinking here, we're going to go with a quarterback. Yes, we are. And then we're going to go with a big dog, actually, to give ourselves, first and foremost, going to give ourselves the option with curl. And then for the second shot, we're gonna want to have some distance with that one. So see when this one gets out. So there we go, hole number 9. My road's gonna go first. It goes with a quarterback, and I definitely do not blame him for that one. It's definitely the best club to go with in that particular situation. It's it perfect. It goes over the trees, and of course, I know you can go over the tree, or at least through the trees, but it's going to be tough for you to get the distance that you want for your second shot. So that's why I want to go with curl instead, to give myself that opportunity for us to get close up there. As you can see on my adjustment, I kind of adjusted for the shot to go through the trees, and then adjust my shot from there. And the thing to have in mind again is that we're going to go with curl, and the curl will help us go around the trees instead of going through it. Make it bounce, and it will roll up there to the top, and I'm very pleased with that one. Max topspin on our quarterback combined with max side spin and basically max curl as well. So we're going to see here, our opponent here of course needs to overpower the shot, but as you can see, you're going too much to the left, and then that will be the bunker. And here comes the reason again for picking the correct clubs. And I know I talked about that in the regular tutorial before the tournament started, because we picked the wrong clubs. Now we're picking the correct clubs. We have no problem whatsoever to reach for the green in 2. We don't have to overpower. We kind of also can go straight at the pin here, and that is something that we will be doing. Maybe not be doing that often, because it's very, very tough to get this one to stop, because the first bounce is very irregular, and it's something that we really need to have in mind while doing so. Hits it perfect. But as you can see, the bounce there gets very, very crazy. We land on the fringe, no problem whatsoever, and we're going to give ourselves the ship for the eagle to get that one in and end up with an eagle. So we would, if we would be playing this for real, we would be getting a solid -12, which I do believe is a score that you need to have to be able to at least be top 20 in the tournament. Maybe have to add 1 or 2 shots more, because of course when the wind is not that strong, then it's easier to get it close in general. And I do really hope you will you have learned something on this walkthrough or playthrough, and hopefully you will find maybe like, okay, I'm maybe going to try that or so, and then do so. I really do hope you will do well in the tournament. And again, if you do have any questions, make a comment in the comment section below. And you can also, if you wanted to make it more a little bit private, then you can send us a message on the Facebook page Team Golf Clash Tommy, and we will answer you there within the hour basically. So my friends, thanks a lot for watching the playthrough here for Rookie Division. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and here in the end I want to wish you the best of luck in the Football Fever tournament.